Hello, and my name is Joel, and today we're going to talk about this White Zombie box set. It came from New York City. It's on vinyl. And we're also just going to talk about White Zombie and Rob Zombie in general. So this is probably going to be a long video. But the bulk of it, or the start of it at least, is going to be this box set because if you're interested in purchasing this, it's probably what you're interested in watching this video, but then I'm just going to go off on a tangent. I guess not really a tangent, but we're just going to talk about Rob Zombie, White Zombie in general. None of this is premeditated. I haven't thought anything out. I haven't written anything out. It's all the top of my head. I'm going to make some mistakes talking about things. I'm not like a White Zombie expert, just kind of a fan. Also, I'm not like a vinyl enthusiast just yet. I'm starting to collect vinyl, getting into the hobby, and you might see me touch the odd vinyl record. Don't freak out. Don't post below that I'm going to destroy my records. I'm not interested in reselling these. I'm interested in listening to them and just kind of having them. And that's my warning. So let's talk about this bad boy. This is heavy. And basically it is, this is the shell here. Again. And basically this is 5 albums. 2 EPs are on one of the albums. And then you have this nice book. This book is big. There are a lot of pictures in it, but for me to listen to all this music, it took me the same amount of time to read this, and I'm a pretty quick reader. So I'll just like show 1 or 2 pages out of here because you can look at other YouTube videos for better images of this book. But I tell you, man, this book is pretty awesome. It is pretty awesome. So as for the vinyl, we'll start with Gods on Voodoo Moon. So this is an EP, and then Pig Heaven. My complaint about, it's not really a complaint, but these vinyl outings, I guess they're premium, but to me they don't really feel exactly like an album. If I can explain that. They're kind of glossy. I guess I do like it now, looking at it now. But when I first got it, I was like, these don't feel like albums. But I guess they do now. So I didn't get any colored edition. And I'll just show you the custom labels they have. They're kind of cool. Where are we going here? There we go. And that. And this album, honestly, I can't really tell you the difference between a lot of these albums. They all kind of sound like noise, because it was kind of like a noisecore band, I guess you could say. It's not their well-known material. I've only listened to this once. I never had these on CD either. This is Psycho Head Blowout. It's got some pretty cool Rob Zombie artwork on the back. This comes in a custom sleeve. Some notes. I guess these are original. Again, I'm going to probably touch the vinyl here. Don't freak out. That is the custom label. And side B. And the songs I enjoyed the music while I was listening to it. I didn't hate it, I didn't want to skip, but nothing really stood out. I guess Rob Zombie admits that, like in the book, he's like, a lot of fans probably are wondering what the heck was going on when he wrote this stuff. When I got into White Zombie, I never bought these. These were kind of hard to find. This is Soul Crusher. Another black and white kind of sleeve. Really cool stuff though. Like, this set cost me 110 Canadian. You can probably find it cheaper. I waited a few years before I bought it Like I think I waited 2-3 years. I didn't have a record player before. I know it came with an MP3 download, which I did get. I did download it, but I haven't listened to that yet. And I do intend to listen to this more. I've been buying so much vinyl that I haven't really gotten around to really giving it its due. I only got it in September. It is November 3rd right now. So then we have Make Them Die Slowly. And we got the custom inner sleeve here. And everything about this is just, they put a lot of effort in this. It's really cool. It's worth the 110 to me, even though I don't, listen to it too often. I don't think I'll listen to this album or these albums a lot. They make great noise. They make great noise for like a little party you're having, where you're drinking beer, some whiskey, and party's kind of like full force. People are just talking, not really paying attention. So good background music. People might go, "What the heck is that?" But I don't think it would like really disrupt the mood. This is the most like White Zombie. It's God of Thunder. It's produced by Daniel Ray. I think he did some Ramones albums. And why it is the most White Zombie-ish out of the 5 albums that comes with this is it has the samples in it. This is what started with the samples. And then you have your custom sleeve there, or custom label there. It's upside down. So yeah, that's the box set. Again, the book is pretty cool. I've already gone 7 minutes talking about it. I just wanted to show everything to you if you're interested in buying it. I do recommend it. If you're a White Zombie, Rob Zombie fan, I actually like some of the stuff more listening to it than I did like Rob Zombie's current stuff. It's a little more raw. It's stuff kind of remind me of like, see, I'm not a hardcore punk fan. I know there's some of you out here there who are like big time enthusiasts. It's New York City. There's a lot of like rare bands. Kind of remind me of Black Flag a bit, what they're kind of going for, just with worse vocals and Henry Rollins. What came after that though is what got me hooked. And it wasn't because of Beavis and Butthead. It was because of the Power 30 in Canada. And it was, I loved Alice Cooper and Kiss. And when I saw like Thunder Kiss 65 video for the first time, I was like, man, this stuff is awesome. I gotta get my hands on this. I originally had it on cassette. This is La Sexorcisto Devil Music Volume 1. It's got really cool, funky art on the CD. Didn't really see that before. Rob Zombie probably drew all of that. I think he did. And you have your custom artwork in here too. Really cool stuff. You don't really get this with CDs anymore. They've kind of like slowed down on that. You can probably buy this pretty cheap. I don't think it's out of print or anything. Favorite tracks on here are Welcome to Planet MF, Psychoholic Slag, I love. Thunder Kiss 65 is great, and of course Black Sunshine. Spider Babies I'm a big fan of. Rob Zombie says yeah on a lot of songs here, as he's known for. Great album. I like to listen to it once or twice a year. When I first got it, I listened to it all the time. I think I prefer the next one a little more. It's Astro Creep 2000. This one came out when I was in high school, and my music's kind of got more modern. In the past, in high school, I listened more to classic rock and glam metal, and then this kind of just brought me to a new territory with the sampling, and it kind of made me understand modern music a little more. Modern music at that time, because this, while not grunge, kind of has the grunge aspect to it, because they're all kind of like dirty, and I guess grunge kind of evolved from Sabbath, you could say. Like you hear a lot of Black Sabbath, a lot of grunge bands like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains, and this kind of, you could feel the Sabbath influence on this. I know grunge had a bunch of other influences, particularly with Nirvana, who kind of like made the grunge scene explode. I have no edits in my videos, so you won't see any chopping here of anything out. I do make a lot of vocal mistakes because I'm talking a long time here. So next album, yeah, Astro 2000. Pretty famous cover artwork. This was a t-shirt. That was a t-shirt. I saw this tour 3 times. First time, I think Melvin's and Reverend Horton Heat were opening. I missed the opening 2 acts because we got lost on the way to the venue, but we caught White Zombie. Second time was with Ramones and Deftones. Awesome show. It's almost one of the last times I saw the Ramones. It was the second time I saw the Ramones. And I got a chance to get up close to see the Ramones to the stage because we had floor seats. And no one was like pushing or anything. And then, because the Ramones weren't as popular back then as White Zombie to like younger kids. So when White Zombie came on, then that's when all the moshing and shoving came on. So it was really cool to see the Ramones up close. And then the final tour was with Pantera. That was awesome. I got shoved around a lot for that. White Zombie went on first, and then Pantera closed. And oh man, that was an exhausting show. My buddy I went with, named Mark, he lost his shirt. He had to take his shirt off, and he slipped it into his jeans. And I just remember he bought two tour sheets as well on the way out, or not on the way out, on the way in, and he lost all 3 shirts. And I just remember that memory. And we had to go to now everything was closed after, but we had to get some Gatorade after because we were just dehydrated as heck because it was really hot in there from all the moshing, and it was a fun time. I was probably like 23 at the time. And I just remember coming out of there, it was like on a summer night, probably in August in Canada, Ontario, and it was just coming out, it's like 30 degrees, and it was just a good memory of mine. You just can't recapture kind of those memories. Obviously, I'll never see Pantera again, and Rob Zombie says White Zombie will never reform. So that is the last of the White Zombie. There are some, they did some soundtrack work and cover work. So this is Nativity in Black. They do Children of the Grave cover. Up until then, I never heard Children of the Grave by Black Sabbath. So this really got me into Black Sabbath because a lot of the songs on here are a little more rare. Like Supernaut, I never heard Supernaut before. I never heard After Forever, which is covered on here. You know, typically just heard what was on their second album, the first album. And then when I heard Children of the Grave, I'm like, I really gotta get into Black Sabbath. And then they did the Beavis and Butthead Experience. And what's the song on here? I Am Hell. Cool song. Love that song. Love that song. They have 2 soundtracks. I don't have from that band, and that was Escape from LA. I think it is I Am the One. And then there is the Airheads soundtrack. I forget what they do on that. Feed the Gods. I'm pretty sure that's the one. What we also have here is this White Zombie CD. And it's like the KMFDM covers. It's remixes of Thunder Kiss 65 and Black Sunshine, plus the LP versions. Only 5 songs on here. It's called Nightcrawlers. Yeah, KMFDM remixes. I got in this because I was into KMFDM at the time. And White Zombie, so this was like, ooh, this is awesome. Probably only listened to this once or twice. I do want to listen to it again now. It's been like 25 years probably since I've listened to this. So I'll probably give it a spin soon. And then they have a remix of Astro Creep called Super Sexy Swingin' Sounds. And there is a cover on here of I'm Your Boogeyman by, I think it's Casey and the Sunshine Band. Or it's a remix of I'm Your Boogeyman. I guess I'm Your Boogeyman is on another soundtrack because this is a remix. I can't remember. But I enjoy this album. I don't play it again too often. I'd rather play Astro Creep 2000, but since I drive to work, I'm going to probably throw this in my car this week and listen to it. And then we're going to go on to some Rob Zombie stuff. So after White Zombie, I think he did Songs in the Key of X with Alice Cooper. He did Hands of Death. Burn Baby Burn. There's two versions of this. There's this version, and then there's the version that appears on Alice Cooper's box set. I personally prefer this. Alice Cooper, I think, prefers the other one. A lot of people can prefer the other one. I don't know. I just like this one a little more. It's a little heavier. Rob Zombie also did something with Howard Stern. I think he did The Great American Nightmare. So both Rob and Howard Stern sang on it. And then Sean Yulstead, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. She did Famous Monsters. And this is called Into the Night. It's a side project. I think she's the redhead over here. I can't get to it. There we are. I think she plays guitar. She wanted to be kind of unknown on this. I've only listened to this like 1 or 2 times. I don't really know the songs too well. I'll probably give it another listen. I bought that, again, probably 22 years ago, 25 when it came out. And then Sean also has a, if you really want to get into White Zombie, she has a book called I Am the Band. It's basically a summary of, and some images of like the White Zombie tours and how it kind of imploded at the end. All right, so getting into Rob Zombie. I originally had this on CD, but I recently bought it on vinyl. It's Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe. And I don't know if I can, yeah, you can see it. And everyone knows this album who knows Rob Zombie. Pretty much. Good album. Good album. I still like White Zombie a little better. But you'll know Super Beast, Dragula, Living Dead Girl, big hits, Spook Show Baby. All the songs on here are pretty awesome. And then you follow that up with the Sinister Urge. Another great album. Not as popular as Hellbilly, but still good. Demon Speeding I like. Dead Girl Superstar. Never Gonna Stop. California. One song I really love on here is A House of a Thousand Corpses. I think it came out before the movie, the song, and it really got me hyped up for that movie. And it's a movie I loved. I saw that in the theater opening night. And I just remember walking out of there and everyone kind of thought it was weird. People weren't laughing as much as I was at some scenes, but I kind of really got that movie, understood that movie. And picked up the soundtrack after. This is the House of a Thousand Corpses soundtrack. It's mostly got the music from the movie. I think there's like 3 or 4 Rob Zombie songs on here. One being Pussy Looker, that I know quite well. And some background music. Really cool album. I don't know if they did one for Devil's Rejects. I should look that up, but I don't think they did. Also around that time, you have Halloween Hootenanny. It's like a side thing that Rob did. He did a song with the Ghastly Ones. It's a lot of kind of like rarer bands that you don't really hear too much. Reverend Horton Heat, Bomburas, Southern Cultures on the Skid, Rocker from the Crypt, the Ghastly Ones. This inspired me a lot to pick up a lot of these bands' albums. So I got all these guys' albums at the time. I was really into this when it came out. And it kind of just got me into all these other bands. And you also have a remix album. This is on vinyl too for like 25 bucks right now. But I don't think I'll pick it up because I just never listened to the thing. I bought it in 1999. I remember I bought this the same day I went and saw Fight Club. Of all things. I saw Fight Club opening night and I got this. And I just remember being really happy that day and excited because Fight Club was awesome. Didn't have the reputation as now. They'd had a lot of good marketing hype up to Fight Club. I'd never read the book at that time until after the movie, so I was just like going to this movie not knowing what to expect. And that's my memory of this, really. I'll probably spin it soon. Maybe I'll pick it up on vinyl. Not really a remix fan, I guess. So that's probably why I don't listen to too much, but it's being kind of affordable on vinyl right now. I should grab it. Rob Zombie, Educated Horses. I just recently got this in probably July, and There's no standout tracks on here. There is a song called The Devil's Rejects and The Lords of Salem, which are from his movies or inspired by his movies, but a lot of people don't like this album. I liked it when listening to it, but I can't really tell you how any song goes. I've listened to it four times, and I can't. Nothing's really memorable, and that's not really a bad thing. Sometimes you gotta spin an album a lot of times, but it just doesn't have the same, just doesn't really do much for me is what I'm trying to say here, I guess. And I wish it did, and maybe it will one day. But when you read the reviews on here, everyone's just kind of like, eh. He had a couple after this, like the Venomous Rat Regenerator and Hellbilly Deluxe 2. And I haven't heard those yet. They are on vinyl. Just never picked them up. He's got some live albums too that followed. This one is a live version of the Astro 2000 album in its totality. Side A and B. He did this in 2000. This came out in 2018, but I think the tour was in 2016. Really cool album. I liked it a lot. It's got some White Zombie labeling on here. Liked it a lot. I spin it probably once a month. It sounds pretty flawless to me. I guess if I really listened to it though up close, I'd notice some mistakes that some people report in the lyrics and whatnot. But to me, it sounds great. I would have loved to have been at that show. Would have loved it. He also has a Greatest Hits album. It's got 3 Rob Zombie songs on here, or 4 White Zombie songs on here. 5, 6 White Zombie songs on here. It's got Thunder Kiss 65, Black Sunshine, Feed the Gods, More Human Than Human, Supercharger Hammer, Heaven, and I'm Your Boogeyman. And then it's got The Hands of Death, Burn Baby Burn with Alice Cooper. I don't know if it's the one on Cooper's box set or the one off the X-Files soundtrack. It's also got The Great American Nightmare. So basically I have every White Zombie song on physical medium except the one off of, I guess it would be Escape from LA. So that's pretty good. You can tell I'm a fan then of White Zombie. So it's got your music on here, and then it's got the videos on another disc. It had a nice little booklet. I remember, I haven't looked at this in probably 10 years, but I just remember this little thing. It's got a breakdown of how Rob Zombie's looked over the years. So yeah, cool album. And then his last album was this. I have it signed by Rob Zombie himself. I got it on Pledge Music, and it came signed. Of course, I gotta read the label. It's the Electric Warlock Acid Witch Satanic Orgy Celebration Dispenser. Listened to it 3 or 4 times. Didn't mind it. Nothing really stood out other than everyone is effing in a UFO, which kind of sounded like Primus. John 5 is in his band, and he was in Manson before that. And a lot of people I know who don't like Manson or Rob Zombie love John 5. And they tell me what a great guitarist he is. And I don't know much about John 5. Outside of that, I do follow him on Instagram. I don't think he has, because everything he's done with Rob Zombie, I don't know which album he started on though. So I'm kind of speaking out of my, you know what here. But everything I think he's done with Rob Zombie hasn't been memorable. And I don't think that's something I want to put against John 5. I just think maybe Rob Zombie is controlling the music too much. Because with White Zombie, Jay and Sean, they wrote the music, and Zombie kind of directed the music in a sense, and the lyrics, that's kind of how I imagine it working out. But they have credit on the music itself, the bassist and the guitarist. And I think Zombie's a bit of a control freak, but he's easy going to work with, but I think he's got something really strict in his head. And I'd like to see something where he gets his band to actually do the music. And maybe we get something that's a little more memorable, because, you know, after the Sinister Urge, I just kind of fell off the Rob Zombie camp. I just don't get excited about it anymore. Every album that comes out, he's always like, yeah, it's the best album yet. And I get that. You have to say it. You're excited about it. But it's just, it's not working for me, and I want it to work for me. I'm not whining here. That's just what I gotta say about that. I don't even know what I'm saying. I think a lot of people probably feel the same way I do. I hope, though. I really honestly hope people love his latest stuff. Like, I hope this is someone's favorite Rob Zombie album. Because I don't know if I'm just old. I remember when Kiss came out with Revenge, and I was in high school, and I thought that was like the best Kiss album ever. I still kind of, it could be my number one some days. Some days it's not. It's usually Creatures of the Night or Destroyer or the Alive album. I guess you can't really count the Alive album. And same with Alice Cooper. For a time there, Hey Stupid was like my most favorite Alice Cooper album. Right now it's Love It to Death. I'll probably do a thing on Alice Cooper one day because I have all his stuff too. Finally, following up with Rob Zombie, he put together the Ramones We're a Happy Family tribute. Great stuff on here. Not just from Rob Zombie, but we got Red Hot Chili Peppers. We got Blitzkrieg Bop by Rob Zombie. We got Eddie Vedder. We got Metallica, U2, Kiss, Marilyn Manson, Garbage, Green Day, Pretenders, Rancid, Beat Yorn, Offspring, Rooney, Tom Waits. And we have a bonus track edition with Eddie Vedder and Zeke. So I love this album. I think my least favorite could be Rob Zombie's cover. I'm not sure. It's a good cover, but it's not like Children of the Grave cover. I was kind of more excited for Kiss, but Kiss just didn't pull it off as how I wanted to. Manson's I was excited for. It was just a little too moody. I guess because I'm such a Ramones fan that, I don't know. I like this album, but my favorite ones are probably the Eddie Vedder ones and Pearl Jam ones. I guess they're just Eddie Vedder. I keep saying Pearl Jam, but they're Eddie Vedder. They're probably my favorites. And then Here Today, Gone Tomorrow was awesome as well. So yeah, I'm keeping this under a half hour. That's my review on the box set. It's not really a review. It's just kind of disclosing what's in the contents. I didn't really show you what was in the book, but it's an awesome book. If you're a White Zombie fan, pick this up. If you're on the fence about getting it, pick it up. I don't think it's going to be in print forever, so get it kind of soonish. It's great. You get the MP3 download. You get the vinyl. The vinyl is really well put together. Custom labels. Looks cool. If you have thoughts about Rob Zombie that you disagree with, share them below. I really hope you love his newer stuff. I just never got into it. For me, I'd rather have White Zombie reform. I mean, I love his current band, which is mostly Manson musicians before him. The drummer, I can't remember his name. I don't know why. Was in Manson before. I normally know the drummer's name. I just can't think of it right now. And who's his bassist? I'm just going to look it up because I'm curious. And you're watching anyway. So, yeah, we got... Who was in the band? You know, it doesn't even tell me who's in the band here. But yeah, it's funny because they were touring with Marilyn Manson. And in Toronto show, I was going to go to the show. A little bit sick. Have food allergies going on right now. So I'm so thin. I'm just trying to figure out. My throat's been closing up, so I can't eat food very well. So I've been losing a lot of weight, and I have trouble swallowing. I didn't want to sit at a 4-hour show, and it takes like an hour and a half for me to get to Toronto. Sometimes 2, and then 2 hours to get home, and then go work the next day. So I didn't go. But anyway, long story short, Manson canceled, and Rob Zombie did a cover of Sweet Dreams, but it was basically the band who used to perform these songs with Manson was so used to playing that song, right? So you know what I'm trying to say there. It's just it was basically Manson's old band with Rob Zombie singing Sweet Dreams. There's video of it on YouTube. So yeah, I'm gonna shut up now. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.